AITA, for telling my family to go to hell and going no contact after years of them abusing and later ghosting me. Throwaway account for personal reasons. And I'm sorry for any mistakes, English isn't my first language. So, I'm a 35-year-old female living quite a comfortable life now, thanks to myself and only myself. I come from a very conservative family dominated by males. My grandparents had 2 daughters, my mom and my aunt and my 7 uncles, from a country where Catholic values are deeply engraved in people's minds and souls. As a girl, I was always looked down upon, kept on a tight leash. I was supposed to be seen but not heard, be polite and subservient towards everyone, be pretty and girly, the works. That never sat well with me. I was that pants and mud type of a girl, not the Barbie doll everyone expected me to be. Thanks to that, I spent most of my childhood days grounded in my room. Until this day, I refuse to have an ironing machine at home. Shortly before my 16th birthday was my tipping point. Things I do not wish to disclose happened and I decided to simply vanish into thin air. Next 12 years were, let's just say that it wasn't the most honorable time of my life, but I managed. By the age of 23, I bought my first house without any mortgage, credits, nothing, hard cash. Since it was a time when I was working at a club and also sleeping there, I decided to rent the house out. Extra income never hurt anybody. Besides, I didn't plan on working in a club forever. I enrolled myself in online classes, finished high school and thought that it was a good time to go back home and show everyone that I can actually make something out of myself. That didn't go as I thought it would. There was a lot of harsh words. Things got pretty ugly pretty quickly. And let's say that I had to take about a month or so off work to physically recover from the family reunion. My then boss's wife, bless the lady's heart, was and is a gentle, loving soul. So I stayed at their place during my recovery. That's when I decided that it's not worth the hassle and heartache trying to win my family over. I changed my legal name, phone number, email, deleted everything connected to my past and flipped my life around. Despite my profession back then, I had a way of getting along with older folks. They liked peace and quiet, and so did I. By the age of 28, while still working at the club and privately, I got my nursing degree and elderly care certification. I'm not from us, so it might be different, and own 3 rental houses. Around the age of 29, I got a job as a live-in nurse or caretaker for an elderly couple in Switzerland, and been doing that till this day, jumping between Germany and Switzerland as a live-in nurse. Pay is pretty good. I have no living expenses, got the rental houses as additional income, and life is great. Last year, I was able to make my biggest dream come true. I was able to buy a building with 20 flats. Don't get me wrong, it's not a high-rise or anything. It's not USA where I come from. The building has 5 stories each, has 4 flats. Nothing fancy, but I was happy. My idea was to rent out the flats at minimum rent possible for those in need, folks that need a safe place to stay while getting their life back on track. And everything was going good till last Thursday. I have an agency responsible for renting out the flats and interviewing with people interested in living there. I sit on every single one of them personally or online, cause I want to be able to see and get to know my future tenants. Boy, was I surprised when I saw that the people who were on the online meeting, none other than my parents. At that point, I saw red. Told the agent that hell freezes over and starts burnout before any of them step a foot onto my property. I then told my parents to go to hell and never come back, or I'll put them in prison for the rest of their lives for what they did to me in the past if they ever try to contact me in any way, shape, or form. So AITA, for telling my parents to go to hell without even bothering to hear them out. Update. So looks like no matter how one tries to keep the past in the past, it always finds a way to hunt one down. With me, it took a form of my parents forcing themselves into my life, literally forcing. Like I mentioned in my original post, I work as a live-in nurse or caretaker for the elderly and jump between Germany and Switzerland for work. Until Friday, I was at work in Germany, but that changed drastically in a matter of hours after quite a few phone calls I received from my tenants. Turns out that my parents broke into one of the empty apartment units. This is actually an issue, and a big one. Country where I come from, we have a law that actually prohibits all and any evictions between 1st October and 31st March. And you also can't evict elderly people on disability and those that live with them. Due to the nature of my country, breaking and entering or illegal squatting is also off the table to get them out of my property. I was back in my country Saturday morning due to this. But what I didn't expect was a letter from the court in my mailbox stating that my parents are suing me for alimony. Yeah, lovely circumstances. After reading this, I actually flew into a rage. And the only reason why I'm actually able to get this BS off my chest is thanks to my lovely tenants, Robert and Anna. Robert was the one who physically stopped me from breaking down the doors to the flat that my parents took over. And Anna with her doggo R's are total pros at calming your nerves. Who can resist a goofball golden retriever? Guys, you need to understand something here. I despise my parents to the core. Every single molecule of my body emanates pure and unfiltered hatred towards them. Endless tirades of hate spewing from my mother's mouth at each and every single tiniest mishap. Room being reduced to nothing but my bed, desk, and a chair. Nothing else. No curtains, lamps, bed sheets, toys. Nothing for the smallest mistake. Till this day I have a few marks on my back. After my father's lesson on respect. They're not big, but they will stay with me till the end. Iron Machine's wet cord is no joke. The day of my 16th birthday and their indifference to my uncles introducing me to my adult life, after which I decided that enough was enough. The month it took for me to get back into shape after I went back to show them that I actually made something good out of myself. There were many more. I just don't know what to do, what to feel, think. Anger, sadness, frustrated, disappointment, fear, helplessness. I finally started to make my biggest dream come true, and now those two toxic waste specimens decided to ruin my dream and drag me down to a point where I just wanna. I'm sorry guys, it's just so much. Edit to cut all and every single speculation about the country. It's Poland. Be my guest to fact check the child to parent alimony and eviction bans during the winter season. Final update. I'm seriously done with everything. The amount of hatred someone can have for another human being who did nothing wrong to them except being born simply can't be described by any words. I know. I gotta get this out of my system before I'll go completely nuts or break down again. My parents were monsters. Picture perfect family that raised hell behind closed doors. I know what it feels like having your room stripped off of everything as a child, being beaten up with a belt or a cable to a point where it leaves permanent scars on your back. Half of your side sliced open with a broken plate after your mother gets into a fit of rage. Why? 'Cause that damn plate fell out of your hands due to exhaustion after 30 hours plus being forced to stay awake. Oh, let's not forget about the 20 centimeters burn scar on my arm. Even now you can tell where the front and where the back of the ironing machine was. The dress wasn't ironed perfect enough. The indifference to what my uncles did. Almost 20 years. I've managed to put that behind me. I've learned to look at those scars as a reminder of how far I've managed to get away from hell. But hell always catches up. Doesn't matter how far you will run away. It always comes back to hunt you. Always. I'm sorry for the rant, but I did nothing except sleeping and crying recently. I had my appointment with my lawyers on Monday. We went with the police to get my parents out of the apartment. Turns out that tenant eviction during wintertime is illegal. Same as evicting elderly or people with only social security. All of the above applied to my parents. But they were not tenants and could be forcefully removed from the building by the police. That didn't go well. I don't have a father anymore, and my mother got arrested. When I arrived with the police and my lawyers in tow to get them out of my property, things got ugly, and I mean really ugly. My father, hope he burns in hell for the rest of eternity, got worked up and whatever over the situation and got a heart attack. Died probably immediately. He literally just dropped to the floor and never got up. My mother, the raging lunatic she was and is, had one of her rage attacks and decided that since it's my fault that her husband is dead, I should share his fate. Before the police was able to cuff her, she managed to leave me her final parting gift, another damn scar on my leg. I don't care that the sperm donor is dead. I'm actually glad. I don't care that the psycho I came out of is locked up. I don't give a rat's ass about it. Took me years to get over my past and accept what had happened and learn to live with all the reminders of the past that I carry on my body. What I care about is having to deal with yet another one. Even in the end, they ultimately came on top, leaving me with another reminder that past always comes back to hunt you, no matter how hard you try to get away. Thanks to that shit show, my lawyers were able to send a petition to court to get the alimony lawsuit dismissed together with a bunch of other things, and the illegal living situation also resolved itself. I have enough evidence to keep my mother behind bars for years to come, and my father is burning in hell. But it brings me nothing but pain, 'cause they won again. They managed to destroy my peace, my confidence. They managed to take away the joy I felt, till they showed up, and they left me with a final reminder of them. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.